Welcome to the Featured Anime Podcast. I'm your host, Jack.
And I'm Rick.
And today we're talking about Noir, which was not really my choice, but rather a choice carried over from a podcast that I was guesting on, Otaku Insight. But before we dive into that, we were talking about Build-A-Bear, a little bit about the show, and about how Rick likes to, not make excuses, and how I apparently right now have a very soothing, soulful ASMR voice. If you want to catch a part of that wider conversation, patreon.com/featured anime podcast. $1 a month will get you access to that bonus content and more. Now, on to the meat and potatoes. Noir was
Boring.
Yes, it was. I don't know how to I don't even I can't even get my head around it. Noir was produced by Victor Entertainment, Studio B Train, aired in April 2001 through September 2001. Genres for it are action, drama, mystery, and boring. Source for it was an original, so there was nothing for it to be based on, sadly, and it's 26 episodes long, unfortunately.
So what you're telling me is there is no redeeming quality for the background of this show.
Yeah, there was no background.
Okay. I mean, it shows.
It does.
Have you seen our... I was about to ask the audience, have you seen our review on 91 Days? But do you remember 91 Days?
I remember that it was not great.
It was not amazing, but it was still better than this. And the plot line was similar, but not exact. The long and short of Noir is, basically mafia meets assassin meets amnesia.
Right. Well, I'm just gonna say you're like you're saying 91 Days was not great, right?
I mean, it wasn't bad. Okay. It wasn't amazing.
Okay. I mean, so do you feel the perfect 5 out of 5 at the time you gave it? It still warrants that 5 out of 5?
We're not talking about that right now.
I mean, I just thought I'd ask, because you're like, wasn't that great? Really? You gave it a 5. You gave it a perfect. You gave it a 10 on today's scale.
This is true. And in the past, it has ruminated. Mm-hmm. Well, not the past. It's ruminated in my mind. And because of this show, it's not a perfect 10 out of 10. It's really, really not.
Okay.
Only because there's so many similarities between, at least the ones that I was drawing. There were similarities between 91 Days and here. I'd gladly watch 91 Days again if it meant avoiding this. I'd watch it 5 times in a row if it meant avoiding this.
Okay.
I could recite you the first episode if it meant not having to watch this.
Well, see, you say that, and I've watched it twice.
I'm sorry for you. And I watched the first 5 episodes twice, 3 times, in fact, because I keep thinking I messed something up. Like, I don't know how you did it. I genuinely don't. I try. You gave me 2 weeks to watch this. 2 weeks to watch this. I'm going to say it one more time for the people in the back. 2 weeks to watch this. And it hurt. Every second hurt.
You mean to tell me that you didn't love this with every fiber of your being?
I'm lying. I'm lying so hard because it wasn't bad at double the speed. All those uncomfortably long pauses, all of those 15-second scenes where someone gets shot, no blood happens, but then they keel over and die.
You
at
mean
double the speed weren't so bad.
Well, I mean, there was a lot that happened that you're just missing, like such great music and tones. And
did you miss the camera shake? When there wasn't a camera?
Well, they did that to create the effect, but like you didn't miss the jarring, obtrusive guitar riff in the middle of every single episode. I mean,
I didn't miss it. I saw every last one. And at double the speed, it's over like that. Just
okay.
And
then
then
see,
done.
so you didn't get the full effect while you're sitting there listening, and
Oh,
all
I
of a
got the
sudden,
full effect.
just a beautiful guitar
I got
riff.
the full Monty on this one. Okay.
Oh, okay. So hang on, wait. What about the pocket watch that can unseemingly stop anyone in their tracks when they're an assassin for hire? That apparently, I might add, is really easy to find. I mean, like, I guess they kind of post their location, how to get a hold of them, and all that information in the yellow pages. I got that.
No, this is the age of the internet, the faceless internet, man. All you gotta do is assassin.com, and you go to the top one, and you're like,
this is the one. This is 2001.
So you're telling me that there weren't that many domains out there. So assassin.com would have been the easiest one to find. Assassin.com, click, gives you 3 options. Doesn't give you a faulty web page like it does now.
Hang on. All you have to do is just go to Yahoo or AOL.com, type in your search, and then away you go. I mean, this.
I hope you got someone's not on the phone.
I had like no real. When I first talked about it on Otaku Insight, I had no real love. I had a lot of negativity, a lot of bad things to say about it.
Oh,
and that was the first time I saw it. The second time, I think it just made it that much worse.
I was gonna say, did they change your mind at all?
Well, I was like, oh, maybe Rick will be able to shed some positive insight on this for me. And then we talked on the phone after you started, and you're like, is it really 26 episodes long? I was like, yeah. Oh, dear God. I was like, oh, okay. Well, apparently that dream got shot down pretty quick.
Yeah, no. So, like I said, the first 5 episodes I watched 3 times. Not because I was like, they're so good, but because I fell asleep, and when I woke up, it was like the 5th one in. And so I started over because I wanted to do my due diligence here. You had to watch it. You suffered through the first one to do another podcast. And I was like, you know what? I want to see what's up. I want to see what he saw. So I started it over again. I was like, okay, this is just as boring. I got 3 episodes deep. Every episode, in case you're curious and you want to know what this feels like, every episode was only 24 minutes long. But due to the pauses, due to the long breaks between speaking, between walking, between shooting, between like everything they did was like at half speed, maybe, except when they're talking, and the music is so prevalent here that it overwrites the speaking.
The music was poorly chosen, poorly composed, and just served
too
no
loud.
Purpose. It was horrible. Like, you had a pocket watch, and then it breaks out into like a EDM breakdance style, genre type thing. It's like, I'm sorry, like, I want to know where you get the pocket watch that automatically goes EDM mode in the darkest of moments.
Well,
like, we're gonna have a discussion.
I imagine.
Just get some glow sticks, start raving.
Yeah, no, it was just, this was probably peak drama anime at that time, because they showed guns. No. They showed guns that wasn't. So if you're going off of that, then you need to kind of remove the mentality that you were seeing guns, because the only time they actually removed guns or anything like that was when it was being aired on television and when it was being portrayed for kids, like TVY7. That's when they got written out. As far as everything else, when you bought the original DVD or VHSs or watched the original and everything like that, there's gore, there's blood, there's all this other stuff, there's guns and everything else. So you can't base it off of that. I was going to say, my very first interaction would be Gantz, Gantz. I think you're the one that showed it to me too.
Yes. Here, let me give you a solid insight as to why you can't use that as an argument.
Okay.
Remember the first Gundam movie that we watched?
Vaguely.
Yeah, this came out like 20 years after that.
Oh no. Why? Yeah,
the Gundam movie came out in March that we watched, where you saw guns, you saw like the action and everything, right? Came out in 1981.
I agree with you.
So you can't base like guns or violence or anything like that based off of the time frame it's coming out.
I get where you're coming from, and I understand the verbiage. Like on the flip side of that, I agree that you also have Ninja Scroll, which came out before this as well. And Ninja Scroll had a lot of things in there that I deemed not appropriate for kids. I think they had some nudity. They had lots of blood and gore. They've had some rather unfortunate fetishes in there. Let's call it.
They had all kinds of stuff in Ninja Scroll. You know.
So I imagine like the same people, the same group. I was gonna say dynamic, but that's not it. The same demographic. That's the word I was looking for. See, I do know some words. The same demographic that would have been for Ninja Scroll would be for Noir. At the very least, 17. You know what I mean? But they still didn't show any blood. And
well, I mean, the demographic or the age range that they were shooting for Ninja Scroll versus Noir were vastly different. Ninja Scroll had source material that it could base off of too. Additionally, Ninja Scroll was like specifically shonen. It was targeted towards boys. This not so much. This is like kind of an in general.
Why you got to get sexist with it?
Right.
No, it's I don't. Who do you think would be targeted here?
People.
Genuinely.
People.
Boring people.
In general, people.
Like, well, do you think this would be a good first time?
No.
This would be a bad introduction, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, it was a horrible anime. My sister's been getting into anime a lot more, and you know she shares things that she finds and everything like that. And so I like, whether it's warranted or not, I usually I rather give her my viewpoints.
Well, I mean, you do a podcast on it.
You know, fair enough. But I even said, I was like, look, do not watch Noir. It's hours of my life I will never get back. and she says, I've never even heard of it. I was like, well, now you have, and you know to avoid it.
HMG. Love it. So I have a question. Knowing what you know, having watched it for as long as you've watched it, having had to sit through it, and paying attention, I assume, which episodes, if you wanted, let's assume in a perfect world, there's somebody who likes this show a lot.
Well, I'm sure there are plenty of people that do.
But for my thing, they will like it. They haven't watched it yet. They will like it. Which episodes are required to keep the plot, to keep the story making sense, and to get a decent enough conclusion, in your opinion?
You could pick any three. It doesn't really matter because they backtrack and flashback so many times. It doesn't even matter.
Any three? Really? Okay.
They kept flashing back, referencing, going back. So our main character for one of our main characters for Noir, she keeps flashing back to when her parents are killed, and it happens at least once every other episode.
Yeah, you get kind of
I mean, and then
numb to it,
right? So you have Mariel, the main, the one that keeps flashing back to the problems, and she's supposed to be a lot older. And then you have Kirika, who's supposed to be a lot younger, and then you find out, well, they're actually not younger. Kirika is actually older, just pretending to be younger because she was brainwashed, amnesia, conked on the head with a frying pan. I don't know what. And then you're like, well, Marielle is a famous assassin, and so she chose Noir because to hide the fact that there's one, or there's two, but there's actually always been two. It's always meant more than two. And so they post themselves in the yellow pages so people can constantly find them and get a hold of them wherever they are. And in the secret government or secret occult Templar Knight status syndicate, whatever, is keeping tabs on them. And it's just all the way through. There's like They're easy to find. They do a really horrible job. They're not great assassins. And then they save people that they're supposed to kill only to later on try and kill them or kill them later on.
Seems typical.
Right. And then you have another one that's also a part of the Noir is Chloe, who has a wannabe ponytail that's off to the side and not really a ponytail. Like someone just messed up doing her hair and she decided she loved it.
Yeah.
And on top of that, how the hell did a little girl, three little girls, two, like there's just so much wrong with this. There's just so much wrong with this. I can't. And it's not like, oh, the more you watch it, the more it'll make sense, the better it gets. No, the worse it gets, the more you watch it. It's like, why did that happen like that? Why did they do that? What's going on with this? I mean, like apparently Marielle has multiple traumas in her life, and what makes her a great assassin doesn't really make her a great assassin. And then it's like a lot of she said, a lot of people start throwing out, oh, you know who I really am. Now, I can't let you live since you know who I really am or what I really am. But a lot of people already know who you are, and they're already all living it, and they're singing Kumbaya with each other anyways. It doesn't really matter.
Well, they're the higher ups and the higher echelon. They're just...
The taxi cab driver drove by, saw the sign up on the building, knows who they are.
Oh, God. I loved how a strong plot point for this whole story happens in the middle, where all of a sudden they're now real concerned with people having seen their face. And we got to make sure that everyone who's seen our face doesn't remember our face. And then the reason I say it's strong is it's happened one time where they said that and then never again. It's no longer an issue.
Yeah.
Did they kill the person? No. Did they get away? Also no. And it is what it is. Like they give you plots that have potential. They give you direction that has potential. They give you amazing options that just never come to fruition. And they leave the smoking gun on the table and hope you'll be able to figure out who shot what, where, when, and why. And it doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
No, nothing about this actually works. So, and I had mentioned this in the pre-show. There was a scene in there, like when Kirika regains her memories, right? And she remembers everything. And apparently when she was a 3-year-old, she was a killer assassin, right? Even at 3 years old or whatever it is.
Natural born.
Right. Natural born. Chosen by the superfluous syndicate, specialness, whatever they're called.
Like that's probably a better name, the superfluous syndicate.
I mean, anyways, they all three of them were chosen at birth. I don't even know how Chloe was chosen at birth or how, or it's just the problems, the constant problems,
Yeah.
Anyways, the scene that came to mind or that I started laughing at was when Kirika was just saying, do it. And all I can envision in my head is, do it. Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Yeah. Emperor Palpatine. Do it. Oh, that's awesome.
So, I mean, like, that's honestly what made me think of it,
Yeah, that makes sense. That it's quite funny in my opinion, and probably yours as well, that you almost have to find humor because it's so
bad.
Yeah.
Horrible. Trashy.
Man. It's not that it's just bad, It's not that it's just bad. It goes beyond that. And I can't even explain why,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I got you. It's just one of those shows where you kind of just like, you're just kind of like, yeah, no, this is total trash. Thanks for wasting my time and giving me complete and utter nonsense to try and watch and sort through, because this was totally entertaining to someone at some point in some way.
It must have been, from what I can see. Like, it's not, it looks like at one point in time, someone had a good idea and they're like, we're going to just run with it. And that person died and they already spent the money. And
that's dark. That went dark.
The only thing I can think of, because someone was like, well, they gave us a boatload of money to make this awesome thing. The contract says it's got to get done. Let's pocket a bunch of money and hand this off to lesser than. Let's get the people fresh out of school. You know? Only thing I can think of, because no one who has money disposable that would be able to do this would consciously think that this was a good idea to release. Who knows? Maybe at the time this is the best they had.
I would digress. I would argue against that. I am very adamant in that B Train, the studio, thought it was a great idea to release. You know, like this is and you know what I mean, because you've
B Train still in business?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
So, I mean, because you here, let me kind of. So, have you seen the Hack Sign anime series?
No, I played the game mainly because of you.
Okay, so they did Hack Sign, Blade the Immortal, Murder Princess. They've done any of Batman, those yet. Gotham Knight. They've done Halo Legends.
I've seen that. That must be newer, because I've seen Halo Legends.
They've seen, yeah. They've done Phantom. Remember that train wreck of a show?
Same time frame, I'd imagine. Mm-hmm, same animators.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they've done other stuff. They've worked on stuff.
So I'm not saying they haven't worked on stuff. Maybe they switched out. You know, they fired some people, hired some other people. You know, companies definitely have the opportunity and the ability to change on a whim.
Yeah, because that obviously doesn't cause any problems or confusions.
It hasn't always caused problems, but I mean, look at this show. I mean, this show's a prime example of when power changes hands, everyone's happy. You know?
Sure.
Most aren't alive anymore, but they're happy.
You know what? You've brought up my anime list, like on high rating shows and everything like that for my anime list before, right?
Oh, like, please tell me it's a high rating.
It's a 7.29.
How? Who's watching this?
38,083 people have watched this.
And how many of those were purchased? Including both of us several times.
Yes. So, you know, normally like the beginning and ending credits of a show can help set it up for success or failure. If it's a really great opening or closing, you know, you could just like sit there and let it play through without any problems and just like really enjoy it
every time.
I skipped it 100% of the time. And if you actually watch it, I mean, like, because, you know, when you hear noir, you're like, oh, murder mysteries, you know, detective, this and that. And like, you look at the, you know, the cover art for it, you know, it's like two people standing back to back with guns. It's like, oh, it's got to be a detective mystery type thing. And then you're watching the opening credits. It's like, oh, this is totally going to be a detective mystery style type thing. And then you watch it and you're just immediately shot in the gut because you realize it's not that. It's just going to be pain and suffering all the way through. Because, dear God, why would you want to willingly suffer through something where someone who apparently has multiple traumatic experiences and can't deal with any of it?
No, yeah. There's no cohesion. There's no rhyme or reason. There's no joy. It almost feels like
pain.
You know what I mean?
And then, okay, so I asked this on the Otaku Insight. I'm going to ask the same question here. Okay, the uncle. Did you get a Chester molester type vibe from him, or was it just me?
Asking me if it was just you implies there were others that didn't.
I've only talked to one other person about it, so.
Did they?
No.
See,
not really.
Really?
Did you?
Not 100% of the time, but yes.
Okay. All right.
Like it was not in your face, and it was not like boom, but like
it gave like the subtlety hints of it. It's like,
yeah, it was like a little too close here, a little like, weirdness
I'm gonna pull you close to me. We're gonna look over this water and be like,
yeah,
we should come back here again someday.
Yeah. I mean, I can see what they were trying for, but like not someone who wasn't born for the first, 6 6/7 of your life.
Yeah.
That's something you would do to somebody who you've got a much deeper relationship than 10-year-olds.
Right, yeah. And then, when she gets the flowers, she's all happy and giddy. Oh yes, I got the flowers. Oh yes. He. It's like, yeah, you know what? I feel like something kind of creepy is going on there. But whatever.
Yeah.
To each their own. Whatever.
I feel like something that we're not noticing is there. And who knows? It could just be, we could be just jaded and all that stuff. But I definitely didn't.
Takes place in France. I mean, so it could
I don't
be
know
just
enough about France.
It could be our American views that are just kind of jading us,
Yeah, it could be our American experiences that with talk show hosts and whatnot.
I'm gonna lay this out right now. I have no personal experience like that. I'm sorry to hear that you have.
Well, I watch Jerry Springer.
Ah, okay. Okay. Well, that's a better note. No, it's just there were some parts in the art when it wasn't involving the characters or something like that. There were a couple of parts in the artwork where it was like, they it feels like, yeah, they kind of care. They do care about the show. And then the rest of the time you're just left with a dead feeling like, yeah, they really didn't care. And then the dialogue is super awkward and weird, and the music placement is loud and weird and awkward. And
it's okay. So I'm going to approach it from another spin. I'm going to approach it from a 7-point, whatever they say it is, spin. Okay. So let's assume it's good. Let's assume it's worthy of a 7 out of 10. Okay. What would make it worthy of a 7 out of 10?
Being completely
there rewritten. Are some nuances. Huh?
Being completely rewritten.
No. Let's just follow. Let's go on a path for a second. All right.
So I don't want to go on this journey. I really don't. No.
You're pedaling in the back. Give me a second. I'm staring.
No. I don't want to go.
We're
Can't
going.
Make me.
No. So now just think of this for a second.
I'm an adult. I'm an
adult. That's okay. I'm here for you.
Oh God, someone save me.
Oh God, flashbacks to when someone was like, "Is that your son, Rick?" God damn. Anyway, so coming from a location where someone sees this and is like, you know what? The pauses are for personal reflection, meaning us, the viewer, does not get to have the insight into their mind. Whereas in the regular shows we watch and the shows you and I find good, there is very little we have to think for ourselves for. We hear the internal monologue. We hear the plot. We hear everything. Whereas here in this show, we're supposed to think that on our own, and that maybe leaves it up to interpretation. So maybe that's what they were going for. When they're like, I don't know if I should kill anymore or not. 15-second pause overlooking a lake. Okay. Okay, I mean, but that's not why I'm watching.
Hang on. So if you're trying to make an argument as to how this can be saved, you're not doing a very good job.
No, I'm not trying to make it saved. I'm trying to give us a different perspective as to why people gave it a freaking 7 out of 10.
Okay, you're not doing a very good job.
I'm just thinking maybe all this pausing, all the slow talk, all that. It's
the
meant
suspense. It was meant to build suspense. Is that what you're getting at?
There wasn't.
No. I'm saying that look, all the here. This is how you view it from a 7 perspective, right? The story was very fluid. It gave pause when it needed to have pause to help build the suspense. The music, while it was overpowering, was great. It made you feel like you were really there, a part of it. I can't go on. I mean, like, just, it hurts my soul just saying that.
I mean, at times the music wasn't horrible all the time. The music wasn't overpowering all the time. But when I don't think there was a moment where it was silent.
No, there was silence. It was awkward, but it was there.
I challenge you that maybe I don't think there was, because whenever someone wasn't talking, someone wasn't walking, there was no dead sound in the entire show.
Oh, that's what
If
you
somebody
mean.
wasn't, yeah, if somebody wasn't doing something, there was the music. If the clip clop of the feet, and sometimes even then there was still the music.
Episode 24, I think, when she's down in the sewer by herself and they just kind of panned behind her.
There's the dripping.
There was like 1 second of silence right there.
You hear dripping and water and shit.
Full second of silence.
They tried to let stuff be impactful.
You never said how long it had to be.
Yeah. No, by that time I was watching it at double speed, so I might have missed it.
There you go.
But like it was, I realized the attempt was made to sound impactful, to sound genuine, to give a semblance of unity, to get you to relate to the character, but there was no relating. There was nothing relatable. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't great. So
no. All right. So I could go on trashing this show for a plethora of reasons. All of which I feel like kind of would be at this point in vain. So I feel like this is a good spot for us to leave a rating.
Yeah, I agree. So
on a scale of up to 10, sir, how would you rate it?
As tradition dictates, I'll fire my first shot at this. The only reason I would show this to somebody would be as a case study of what not to do. So for that, I can't really give it a 0 because I would show someone.
Okay.
An attempt was made. It was shaky camera. It honestly, it felt like the animators didn't have a consistent drawing board until episode like 7. Because after episode 7-ish, the screen didn't shake so much. Out of respect for the attempt, I'm giving it a 3.
Okay. All right. See, so on
Can't give it a 0 because
on Otaku Insight, I gave it a 5.
Out of what?
10.
Why?
Because I had hoped you'd be able to show me some light, and Vic provided some positive insight. You know, it was a lot more positive discussion.
Okay.
I would honestly, having watched it, and I said, you know, and the other reason why is because it was like, you know what, maybe I just missed it. Maybe I just missed some stuff. Like maybe I didn't give it its just desserts, its justice, you know, the importance of it, you know, it wasn't built up enough.
Wasn't quite what you're experienced now?
No, I wish I never watched this, and I wish it never saw the light of day. I'm trying to think if I would ever recommend it to anyone, and I honestly, I would not.
I would just recommended it to me.
I didn't recommend it. I said this is what we're watching. I haven't seen it yet. So you can't count that against me. But does it warrant any less than what you gave it?
So what I will say is my score is a 3 holding. What I mean by that is, well, it's a 3 barring being convinced by others who actually liked it to give me a reason to like it. Like I'm open to it. If there was an actual reason that someone could make me see, be it on the other podcast you were on, or someone on the street, or heck, even on our Discord. If you have any idea why I should not rate it a 3 and instead make it more, join the Discord, call me out, because this is not something that I can understand how someone has a good opinion of this, having watched it as we have watched it. I need someone to try to explain to me where the 7 comes from. Why so high? You know? So that's where I'm at.
So I can get like the play. I can see the potential that they went for, right? They went for the like occult society. They went for like secret society, kind of like the Templar Knights, you know, protecting man from its own evil sins and everything like that, and tried tying it into like an otherworldly or ancient mysticism and everything like it had the potential.
Okay.
Like they could have done so much more, and they did. I mean, so like the problem is I come back to, like, they were supposed to be like top rated assassins, and they are horrible at their job, and they are easily found. They're easily gotten a hold of, and apparently they can easily do a simple search. It's like, oh, not everyone has a cane like this. I yahoo.com that search right there, and it told me where you lived. It's
detective skills.
I mean, like, the prevalence and readiness of information online, even in 2001, was not that wide or vast, and the ability that they had to be able to search so quickly, at least in perception of time, was just not that great.
I get where you're coming from with that. I do.
I do like that they did reference, like, I get, like, like, when they went out and assassinated someone, they just weren't like blindly going out there and just like, all right, they went out there, they did their homework, from what I could see.
Did their due diligence. Okay.
Okay, they at least did that, so it wasn't blind. I mean, like, and then obviously one was more professional than the other. They were both horrible, though. They both suck. Complaining about everything. I mean, I gotta go with the 2. I gotta go way down lower from where I was on Otaku Insight, which was at a 5. I gotta go with a 2. I can't quite go for a 1 because that's for the lowest of lows. I gotta go with a 2 because, honestly, like, this entire discussion, this entire conversation, this just like ruined it for me.
Sorry.
Just made it worse.
Sorry, not sorry.
All right. Okay.
Really? But it had a conclusion. It had a bookend for you.
Did it? Are you sure? Because they were walking out severely injured at the end. Severely injured.
Okay.
Against the group of guys who are all armed. There, wanting to kill them, telling them this is not the end. It's like, really? If you're worried about Noir that much, kill them. Shoot them right there. Don't let them walk away. Don't let them hobble away. They hobbled away. They weren't even.
You don't know that they weren't
didn't
seen.
even have a gun. They were out of ammo. They were just hobbling along, and then in the middle of nowhere.
Plot armor.
Plot mysticism.
You know what? You don't know. You just don't know. Just so like in 91 days, you just don't know.
I mean, I don't know what that's supposed to be referencing. I mean, because you at least have an argument for 91 days. You could at least build an argument for that. You could do your darndest. They literally just let him walk away at the end of this. There is no like, oh, you don't know.
Respect.
No, you do know.
Game recognized game.
And then they're like, we're going to come back later. And then they were literally later on, and they're like, we're going to come back and kill you. Just so you know, you're going to die. Hey, that's cool.
No, they turned over a new leaf. They're like, this is not over. No, it is. We stopped being Noir. Done. Scene. Fin.
Yeah, if only that was said. So I'm going with the 2.
Okay.
And then next week's choice is a recommendation by Angel, which means it's not going to be bad, I hope.
It's not going to be Noir.
It's not going to be. I know that for a fact. It's called Erased. So
that's a good one.
I will take your word on it. I have not seen it, but that's all the time that we have for today. Thanks for hanging out with us. If you feel like we got something right, something wrong, something way wrong, did it nowhere near enough justice or anything like that, feel free to let us know. You can reach out to us and let us know. All our contact information and everything like that's listed on our website or in the show notes. Our website is featuredanimepodcast.com. If you want to hear some of the pre and post show that we usually do, patreon.com/featured anime podcast, $1 a month will get you access to that bonus content. And I will have, as of the beginning of the year, end of December, I will have the next choices that are going to be available for vote. It'll be up for the first 2 weeks of January. So get your vote in on what you want us to watch. And until next time, I'm Jack.
I'm Rick. And even though we missed our shot on Noir, we'll see you next week.
Or next year.
Oh, see, I just missed the shot.
It's all right. This actually technically comes out next year.
So just like Noir, you don't know if I missed or not.
Exactly.
Oh, goodness. All right, we'll see you next time. Later.
Later.